Yo, what is good, my anime faithful? What is good, yo? So, we got ourselves some new characters in Jump Force that are old but new at the same time because they weren't playable. And they're kind of interesting. I haven't really gotten into them, so I'm going to try to level them up as quickly as possible. And yeah, let's get right into the video. Abandon the Sacred Beast, man. This show has some interesting ups and some interesting downs, in my opinions. And the downside of it is it feels like a show that I just got done watching that once they kind of get their groove going, they don't really change anything of the show, right? Like, they don't make it so, wow, Goku actually hit me. They don't make it so you kind of get the understanding of just, just the character that's been, misunderstood. But then they give you the understanding of how Hank, our main slayer of these guys, feel about it as well. So it really sucks to see him going through all this. Like, his pain and suffering really, really is rough when it comes down to fighting these people. And to think that he was kind of giving off the vibe that he didn't know what, God, that's a strong attack. He didn't really know what, the other guy would want. He was acting as if he didn't know, anything that this guy had said back in the day because he was a silent type and all this. But then come to find out he really did remember something that this guy would actually want, and that being the fact of you can't just jump away from this, stupid. Um, the fact that all he wanted was to see the ocean. That's all he wanted to actually see. So for him to finally be able to get to see that, what? Where? I couldn't even see Luffy. That's fair. That's so fair. Um, that pretty much became the end of it all. That became, like the end game goal at the end of the day. And to see that all of this is playing out relatively, probably to the Kane Madhouse's plans, it's kind of obvious for me that he's going to be pretty bad. Like, let's talk about him real quick because he was at the end of the episode. If you missed it, you definitely gotta go watch it. But I want to predict just what the heck he could be. Because from what I saw, this man could be a straight up daywalker, which would be the most craziest thing ever. Like if this guy was practically just Blade. Um, he's the Blade of this universe. So with his ability, we see that he bites somebody, and by biting them, it leads to that same person uncontrollably. That combos, that is so dirty. It leads to them pretty much knowing like, hey, this is popping off, and because it's popping off, you're going to need to. Wow, Goku. Wow, that's how you really feel. On my video, Goku, that's how you feel. They really need to stop this behemoth. They really need to stop someone who's ginormous and could take out this bridge that's sitting up like 200 and something meters high, and it's like eye level, if not at the chest of this behemoth, if it's actually on all fours, not standing up on two legs. So it could easily have destroyed this bridge, but the whole thing with Kane is with with him and Hank, they were the two people that never really were seen transforming throughout the beginning of the show. And that gave me another feeling that, man, this guy could be another werewolf, or he could be, something that only shows up at night and gets his power at night. And that still almost holds true. But the weird part of it is when we see him do this, or when we see him practically step out and have his joyous night with this girl by his side, we see these two girls run up on him and say, hey, you want to enjoy your night even more? And he winds up just biting one of them. And by biting him, it turns her straight into a ghoul or a zombie, and practically she has no control. And she starts to eat her friend that, or at least her work associate that she's standing with at the moment. So, with that being said, it drives out the point of like, where does this all kind of stem from? Like, why does he do that? Like, why does it not matter to him just to like go out and body people for fun? And then uh why is it that this girl is like, what is her main deal of being with him in the grand scheme of like, what does she bring to the table? What does she actually do for him to make her important enough to be hanging on his side when he can easily just seemingly make an army of ghouls that are very, very strong when it comes down to biting. So it's very interesting to me to see what all this could play out to, because as of right now, this show kind of feels like there's a lot going on, but nothing really being explained because um, it feels like they don't need to explain it. It feels like it's something that's going to explain itself towards the end of it all. And I only say that because of how things are popping off within the overall like battles and the overall way Hank feels. And I think that the only person that he's truly going to like lose himself while fighting is going to be Madhouse. So I don't know, man. Like it's absolutely nuts to see these characters this way, because not only do they have to, figure out what to do against him, like he's clearly functional, like he's clearly knows what he's doing. So not only does he know all this, he's doing it with convention. Like he's doing it to despite people, and that's the real scary part about Kane so far, is that all we know is he's just doing it to do it, right? Like that's all we can kind of tell at this point. And he hasn't really been like, and my master plan is to I'll eradicate all humans because humans are weaker than us. Like we haven't gotten anything like that from him in the understanding category to like put into perspective just what the heck he's trying to pull or accomplish. So to see that sooner or later should be interesting, or at least to get more of like an understanding from his perspective maybe would be dope. But I don't even know if we're gonna get that at this point, because man, like he's been he's been really hiding. And what I was saying at the beginning is there's a show I was watching that kind of has this same. It had wow, it's so hard to fight with level ones on your team. If you want a challenge in this game, go get some people that are high level, and then have a level ones with you. You see how I lost and they went to 26? That's because they're not supposed to be here. Like if I actually try and just cheese the crap out of these guys, I could probably beat them, but I'm trying to do it with style, and I don't know why, because I've already gotten an S rank on all this stuff, so it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna absolutely destroy them. But with what I was saying is, we've seen a show where it has a easy formula to follow. The show starts. We learn about what's going on, what's in danger. Then the show gets to the middle. We learn what's putting everybody in danger. Then we learn why we're going to need to attack it and how to attack it. Third, we figure out where to attack it, how to injure it, and fourth, it dies or it, slowly goes on to the next life, whatever the case. And that's seemingly the formula for every single episode, which can get really boring for a lot of people. I mean, sure, for me, I'm learning about the characters that were in the war with Hank and like the people that really did look up to him and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's still the same episode as it was last week when it came down to how it all transpired, how it all finished, and how it all began, right? And that's kind of the problem with some of these animes is they get look at the damage. Oh my God. They get kind of comfortable with what they're doing, and once you're comfortable and doing something that, the audience is going to expect, that's when you do something at random and it still doesn't really feel that rewarding because now you just kind of switched up the formula at the last second and you think that that's a crazy change up, so it's really interesting to see where all this can actually play out at the end of the day. But to be fair, I feel like there's still a whole lot. Look at this. This is so bad. I'm gonna get hit by Luffy, practically die, and then get hit by Naruto's blast. Oh, nope, Luffy got canceled out. Trash. Um, but yeah, it's funny to me to see all this transpiring, and then not only that, people who clearly like care or want to care about these behemoths, they really can't. Like, if you care about them, there's people out there that are literally going to try to come after you now. And we see that with how stupid these humans can really be. Like, hey, these explosives won't do much to that guy unless you do it in the correct ways, which we're trying to do. Oh, tarnation, we'll do it ourselves. Like, I swear to God, that's how I picture these stupid cowboy hat wearing anime characters to be like. Like, ah, we don't need your help, pal. We gonna do it ourselves. Here we go now. Like, just so stupid. And then after it fails, they're looking around, running away like they're supposed to get saved. If you ever do something like that, and you expect someone to be there to rescue you afterwards, you're drunk. You're drunk. I'm sorry. Like, you are absolutely either drunk or just out of your mind. And that is exactly how I feel about these people who, oh, we did what the boss told us to do, and my God, it didn't even work. It's like, so what? Why are you guys running back to the army like they're gonna help you? You guys are so dang stupid, man. And not only that, you now forced everybody to be in danger just because you wanted to try to prove a point or just because you wanted to go out and try to make some money by the boss who clearly hasn't fought a giant freaking long necked dinosaur behemoth. And you're taking his word for, oh yeah, you're gonna blow him to smithereens. Like, oh, okay, but do you not notice he's a mountain? Like, do you think this would blow up a whole entire mountain? No. And did you not hear that it could regenerate? Of course you probably didn't, because the guy who sent you here probably didn't listen long enough to hear that part. So, GG to them. But yeah, overall, this episode was interesting. We know that Hank kind of lied to old girl. He's like, yeah, I don't really know what he could want. Like, the guy's just crazy. He could want anything at this point. And really come to find out, all he actually wanted was to see the ocean, and Hank actually freaking knew that. And that's why he asked a certain amount of soldiers to put some TNT at the end of the valley to blow up what was blocking the ocean site, and that was the true thing that almost practically killed this behemoth. He seemingly had enough in the tank to keep going until his dreams were met, and by giving him his dreams, he didn't have to force or strain his body anymore. And that was the most heart-wrenching part of it, is that these were humans that were fighting for humanity. They were fighting for not only humanity, they were fighting for people to live in peace. And that's what this bridge symbolized, that he almost destroyed by going and trying to fulfill his own dreams. And then he gets bodied, and that it sucks. But at the same time, what goes around comes around, and I feel like the guy who pretty much did this all and put everybody in this position in the first place is going to get something dirty coming to him, and that's something I can't wait to see, because no one deserves to be treated like this. But at the same time, knowing that this was going to happen, that Kane practically knew all this was about to transpire somehow, it just goes to show you that, what? How the heck? It just goes to show you what, this show is all about. Like, this show has people that knew if they let these monsters run loose, it's only going to end up being very, very bad for people all around. and he still did it on purpose. So, like I was saying, he has the ability to bite people and turn them into like ghouls, which is seemingly like a vampire. But the thing about it is, in the very beginning of the show, he was shown in the daylight, you know, walking around and stuff. So to think that he's gone from, oh, I'm a vampire and I can be in the daylight, that just, I mean, he literally could be a daywalker. And because he's a daywalker, that's super, super scary. Like, he's literally just straight up bit a girl and created something that was strong enough to rip the flesh off of, others just by biting them once. That's how powerful this guy is. So just imagine what he could do if he actually wanted to see some people dead, like if he wanted to bite 15 people and send them out, it would be a wrap, So that's pretty much all that transpired this week, was seeing Kane at the end of the week and kind of understand that he's either like a vampire or like a zombie that's alive or something. Like I don't even know, man. But we'll see how it all transpires at the end. I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I got one more video to drop, and I think I'm gonna get right into it after this. Some cop craft, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. I will try to. I'm gonna. There's a video. There's one more show that came out today, and I'm going to save that show for, I believe Wednesday or Thursday. Just so I don't have a day with just one video. I'm gonna try to get all these days with multiple, at least 2 uploads a day. But other than that, I hope you guys definitely enjoy, and I will for sure talk to you in a little bit if you do stick around for more content. So with that being said, have an awesome one. I definitely will be making more content today and tomorrow. So with all that being said, peace.